We all know that the Cambridge exams are not easy, especially the B2 exam. That's why today I'm gonna be giving away some tricks and tips so that you can pass the exam successfully, specifically for the use of English section, which is one of the hardest in the exam. Let me introduce myself. My name is Teacher M, and I've been preparing students all over the world for this exam for about 15 years. And today, I'm gonna be helping you. Today we're gonna be talking about the use of English section, which personally I believe is one of the hardest in the exam. The good news is that most of the vocabulary that you will find there, you can memorize. Yes, you can learn by heart. So in case you are not familiar with this part, let me show you what it looks like. So the whole section is called Reading and Use of English. And the first four items, we could say, the first four exercises are vocabulary, grammar, word formation as well. And there is a last part that is called keyword transformation, which is a nightmare for all students. But we're gonna see that in a couple more videos. Today we're gonna focus on the use of English part only, specifically collocations. A collocation is basically one word plus another word, and they go together by rule, okay? So we don't need to question the world, the universe, why they go together. Sometimes you will find a reasonable explanation why that happens because of their meaning, but other times it's just because at some point in the past someone thought, oh, it would be a great idea for these two words to go together, or that's the way I like to think about it. Sometimes it might be one word plus one word, or plus another word. It might be three words together. It depends on what words you have. For instance, today we'll see verbs plus prepositions. All right. Sometimes is verbs plus a noun. Sometimes is prepositions and nouns, or nouns and prepositions. It gets crazier. So the idea that I have is that you can understand this out of the context of the exam. So then once you know how to deal with it, you can do the exercises from the exam. For that, we're going to do this exercise. It's going to be very practical. And the best thing is that we are going to do it together, because that's how we learn, okay? So, verbs plus prepositions. As I told you before, these words go together by rule. That means that they never split apart. They go together, like a good marriage, I hope. So, as you can see on top of the exercise, we have 7 prepositions, but we have 10 sentences that are missing one of these prepositions. So, as you might conclude, obviously, there are some that are going to repeat that you can use twice. So what's the difference between this exercise and the exercise that you will do in the exam? Is that these are isolated sentences. None of these sentences has to do with the other one, okay? They're just individual situations, individual sentences. In the exam, as I showed you before, there's a whole text. And when it comes to these collocations, usually we're gonna use them in part number 1, 2, and 3. So the ones that we're going to cover today, you can use in any of those parts of the exam. The first piece of advice I would like to give you is you always start by the ones you find the easiest, okay? The easiest for you. So we have 7 prepositions: of, for, on, in, to, with. I think that's all. And we're going to place each one of them in the right sentence. So what we're going to do now, I want you to do in the exam. So we're going to read them all, and then we're going to start in a very disorganized way. Your way, your organization, or disorganization. Because in the exam, you don't want to waste time. And sometimes number 1 is not the easiest. You might not know number 1. You might get nervous and forget number 1. Forget about number 1. That's why my advice. So we're going to read each sentence very quickly, and then we're going to decide which one is going to be the first. So let me read. He recovered his illness very quickly. Number 2, does anybody object this idea? Number 3, hundreds of people participated the race. I like to do the sound. Number 4, My grandmother used to care me while my mother was at work. Number 5, they adapted the weather conditions without too much difficulty. So I want you to do it with me. Don't get lost. Follow the pace. Number 6, my aunt doesn't approve people eating in the street. Number 7, I know I can depend Tom when I need him. Number 8, I'm always competing my sister, but we get on very well. Number 9, the students all benefited the interesting lectures they attended. Number 10, how did she react? The news. Okay, so we've read all the sentences. Now we get a sense of each one of the ideas. We get a sense of the context. And this is when we want to start doing the exercise. This is what we shouldn't do. He recovered his illness very quickly. He recovered of his illness. He recovered for his illness. I think this one is, I think he recovered to his illness. I don't know. This is what we don't want to do. Why? Because you're just wasting your time. And for this exam in particular, time is everything. So I'm going to pretend you taking the exam, right? So I've read all the sentences. I know all the prepositions. And I'm going to start by the one I believe is the easiest, or the one that I remember right now, at this moment. So let me do number 7, okay? This is a very general expression. That's why I want to start with this one, because it's going to make me feel confident. I know I can depend Tom when I need him. I know I can depend on Tom when I need him. Yes, depend always goes with on. They never split, okay? Always together. Remember, they always go together. Never say depend in, depend from. No, always depend on. That means that I trust Tom and that I know that he's going to help me whenever I need help, or I need him to help me, okay? I can trust him, right? He's going to do what I expect. That's what depend on basically means. Number 1, he recovered from his illness very quickly. All right. Illness, as you know, is a synonym of sickness, right? So it might be a headache, a stomachache, or whatever, right? Hopefully nothing serious. And this one has a synonym, which is a phrasal verb that you also want to learn for this exam. That phrasal verb is to get over. So in this sentence, in the use of English part, you can either say he recovered from his illness, or he got over his illness very quickly, all right? So in this one, obviously we can only use recover from because they give you the word recover. But what if you don't have the verb recover, and maybe you have he space over his illness very quickly? So you say, okay, he got over his illness very quickly, right? In part number 2 is multiple choice. So you will have 4 options. And usually in those options, you're not going to see the preposition. You're going to see the verb. So that's why this is very important. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. Sometimes I get excited. So let me know in the comments if you want the upcoming classes to be slower, because sometimes I get a little bit excited and this is fun for me, so I love it. Okay, I'm gonna do number 8 right now. Remember, we are doing this random order because we are starting with the ones that are not difficult for us, okay? It might be different for you. Maybe you want to start with number 3, then 7, then 10, then 1. What you should never do is to do it in order unless you are okay with that order, meaning that you know each one of the answers and they come to your mind very quickly. That means that you're not wasting time and that you are doing it great. If that's not the case, just go randomly, okay? This one and this one, there's no harm in that. All right, so I want to do number 8. I'm always competing with my sister, but we get on very well. Compete with, right? When you're trying to be better than someone else, right? To compete with someone, always to compete with someone, okay? And then you have another expression there, to get on very well, a phrasal verb. That means that you feel really good with each other, that you like hanging out, you know, that you're good friends, that you have a good relationship, that you get along as well. Next one, number 4. Pay attention to this one because probably you think that the preposition that goes there is not in the list, but believe me, it is. My grandmother used to care for me while my mother was at work. Probably you are confused because I said care for and not care about, considering that about is not in the options, right? So that helps us know that about doesn't go there, right? But let me explain why they are different and why this one is care for and not care about. When you say care for, that means that you do things to help and protect someone, okay? To help and protect someone, a person. It might be someone you care about, which is different. So care for might be a synonym of look after, another phrasal verb that I'm giving away and that I want you to know. So care for, look after, they mean pretty much the same. Can you look after the kids while I'm at work? So let me give you another example. She cared for elderly patients. So that means that she looks after them, okay? She has to make sure that they have what they need and she's going to protect them in case. On the other side, when you say care about, you feel that someone is important to you. So when you say I care about you, that means that I feel that you are someone important to me, that I feel interest in you. I care about what happens to you. So if I care about you, I might care for you. An example, she has never cared much about her appearance. So she's not interested in her appearance. Can you tell the difference? Great. Okay, this is very important. Please, if you like this video, if you're learning something new, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. That really helps me a lot. And if you do it, I'm really gonna love you so much. Okay, let's continue. Next one, let's do a difficult one. Number 5, they adapted the weather conditions without too much difficulty. Okay, so weather conditions, maybe they are climbing a mountain. It's very easy for them. They adapted to, okay? Adapt to. It's very easy to know by the context what it means. Maybe the weather conditions were not the best, but they could adapt, they could manage, right, to deal with the situation successfully. So that's why adapt to means. Always together. Next one, and this one is very confusing, so you want to pay attention to this one. And I don't know why I've got this feeling that you don't know it. Hopefully I'm wrong, okay? Don't take me wrong. My aunt doesn't approve people eating in the street, okay? My aunt doesn't approve people eating in the street. By the context, maybe doesn't approve, she doesn't like it when she sees people eating in the street. That's what makes me think. But approve goes with a preposition. Can you tell me which one it is? Put it in the comments before I say it, of course, okay? So let me tell you, my aunt doesn't approve of, my aunt doesn't approve of people eating in the street, okay? She doesn't like it. She doesn't approve of that. That means that she doesn't accept the fact that people are eating in the streets. She doesn't like it. Very easy. Approve of. Please get this into your mind, into your brain, because most people fail when it comes to approve of, when it comes to the word, the expression approve of. So your mantra, once again, approve of, approve of, approve of, approve of, recovered from, depend on, compete with. So that's the best thing you can do to memorize all of this. Of course, also you can write sentences, different sentences. You can find examples on Google or on ChatGPT, whatever you like using for these type of studying situations. But the thing is that you keep repeating them and seeing them in context. That's the only way to learn them. You gotta be aware of your skills. If you're better at memorizing, do that. If you're better at reading things within a context, do that. If you're better when you do exercises, do that. It varies from person to person, all right? So you gotta find your way. So let's do the rest very quickly so that this video is not that long and boring. Does anybody object to this idea? Object to, okay? Object to an idea, disagree with an idea, okay? Very easy. Number 3, hundreds of people participated In the race. In the race. You participate in something. Participated in the race. This one is in past, okay? You always gotta pay attention to the tenses as well. Number 9, the students all benefited from the interesting lectures they attended, okay? They benefit from something. That means that you gain advantage from something. And last but not least, number 10, the news. How did she react? There's something missing there, right? Sounds weird. React the news. How did she react the news? How did she react to the news? Okay, to the news. React to. So when you react to something, is how you behave, how you act in a particular situation, right? So let's do a quick review. We have recover from, object to, participate in, care for, be careful, don't confuse with care about, adapt to, approve of, depend on, compete with, benefit from, and react to. Those are the 10 collocations that I wanted to teach you today in this class. I hope this was useful for you. So of course, you are not done with this class. I mean, you need to study this. You can take these words, make a list. You can place post-its on your wall, on your speaker, on your screen, whatever, so that you can remember these words, okay? But everything comes down to repetition. Good news is that all these expressions will repeat over and over and over and over in all of the exercises that you do to prepare for the exam. All right, my dear friends, my dear students, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. All of that helps the channel grow. Don't forget to leave a comment telling me what you would like to learn next for this exam or for a different exam, C1 maybe, if you're in an advanced level and you want to challenge yourself. I'm gonna keep doing more of these videos. This is basically how I do a class. I really hope that you learned something new, and I really hope that this helped you prepare better for the exam. I'm Teacher M. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye, guys. As I said, you can put post-its, you can place post-its. So you can place post-its. That's a difficult word.